Kia ora, tēnā koutou, I'm Lee, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm a short, overweight, middle-aged white dude. I've got thinning brown hair, black glasses, I'm wearing a grey t-shirt, and I'm standing behind a Model S 2017 in lovely Tauranga, Aotearoa, New Zealand. Because in this video, we're going to do an overview of the 2017 Tesla Model S. Now you might be asking, Lee, why in heaven's name are you doing an overview of a 2017 Tesla Model S when we're in January 2023? That's a very good question. Well, the challenge is that at the moment you cannot order a new Model S or Model X in Australia or New Zealand. You can't. You can go to the website, it's just not there. I mean, you can view it, but you can't put in an order. So if you do want one of these, you've got to get it secondhand. Also, I thought it might be interesting to have a look at how things have progressed and how things may not have progressed over 5 or 6 years from Teslas back then to Teslas now. Now, the other thing you might be wondering is, Lee, you normally drive a Model Y, so how in heaven's name have you got a Model S? Did you steal it? As usual, no, I haven't. I'm visiting family here in New Zealand with my family, and we thought we'd drive down to Tauranga for a few days, a holiday within a holiday, you might say. And, well, if we're going to do a long drive, may as well rent a electric car. So I've rented this Model S. Now I will do a separate video talking about the rental experience, which is actually pretty nifty with the company that I went through. It's one where you can rent cars from individual people. So like it's not I mean it's a company, but this is actually someone else's car that they rent out. But that's not what we're focusing on here. We're focusing on the Tesla Model S 2017. Now, this is a Model S 7560. I'm not sure what the 60 stands for. I think that means it's sort of like the entry-level model. The 75 is a 75 kilowatt battery model. When this was new, the estimated range was about 405, 410 sort of kilometers per 100% battery. At the moment, you'll probably get about somewhere between 350 to 370 kilometers out of a full battery. Now that's not too bad considering it's 5-6 years old for degradation. Probably about around the same as what you see from a petrol car, I'd imagine. In terms of physically what the car looks like, I think, and this is very subjective, it's a very fine looking vehicle. It's quite sleek, it's definitely got a distinct look, and I like it. In terms of how do you get into the car, now you can get into the car by using the app, so I do have it set up in my phone, in my Tesla app, and it's actually quite cool. If you have more than one Tesla, you can just flick between the two Teslas, or 3 or 4 if you're really wealthy, and do the settings and unlock it like that. But this car, I believe, came with, or the owner bought separately, I'm not sure which it is, actually came with the, came with the Tesla key fob, and I'll go through some of the settings on that in this video, but I'll do a full video showing what you can do with the key fob, because there's actually quite a lot of cool stuff, and all these extra videos will be coming out in the next sort of following days, following weeks. So first thing I want to look at is actually how you get in. As I mentioned, as you notice that as the key fob sort of activated, the door handles just come out of the car, which I know other cars do this, but it's new for me, and it works really well with the key fob. So pretty much as soon as I walk up to the car unlocks and the handles come out and you walk just in. It's really quite seamless. To lock the car, you just click on the key fob at the top. The next thing I'm going to do is have a look at the boot space and the frunk space, because that's always really important for me, because I carry a lot of stuff with me. Now, you might think that because it's a sedan, the boot space or the storage space in the back of the Tesla Model S isn't that large, but you'd be wrong, because there's actually quite a bit of space in here. Now, the way you can open it, you can either do it from the app, you can double click on the back of the key fob, or you can just push the button back here and it'll open itself up. So here we've got a half and half parcel shelf. So that'll fold in on itself if you want, and you can also just pull it out completely, and you can see it's got like these little groove sort of things, these little catches that slot into here, and so that's how that works. You then got these side panels here, which actually go really, really deep, and then finally you've also got this enormous space down here. One thing to keep in mind with this enormous space down here is that there is no spare tire on the Tesla Model S. In fact, I don't think any Teslas have got a spare tire, so you do want to get hold of a tire repair kit. So if you get a flat, you can repair your tire until you can get somewhere to get that sorted. There is also the back seats, you can lower those down. So there's just a little handle here at the back of the seat that you then pull the seat down. Now I am going to make these comparisons a bit from time to time because, for example, on the Model Y that we have, there's actually a button in the back of the boot here, and you can lower the seats down by just flicking that button, whereas here, you know, manually you've got to walk around and lower it down. Not a big deal, but again, one of the nice things that you get from a newer car, that you've got some new advances, I suppose. But yes, that's fairly straightforward. The last thing to talk about is the button on the boot here. So you can push this button. You know, obviously the button, you can just close the boot, you know, flick the button, the boot closes. But the other thing that you can do is if you push the button, the boot starts closing, or while it's opening, you tap the button sort of when it's halfway, and then tap and hold the button, wait for a beep, and then that sets the limit of where the boot's going to open to. So if you've got a very low garage, or you're somewhere where you're worried that the boot's going to hit something above it, you can tell the boot to always just open to a lower height, which is a handy little feature. Now, being an electric car, the Tesla Model S doesn't actually have an engine in the front. There's an electric motor, or a couple of electric motors down in the bottom. I'm not that picky with the stuff. So you've actually got quite a bit of storage here in what's called the frunk, the front trunk. The way you can open it is either via the app or from within the car, or you can use the key fob. So you just double click on the front of the key fob, and that opens up your frunk. And as you can see in here, you've still got quite a bit of storage. Not as much as you have in the Tesla Model Y, but still plenty of space to keep stuff. And you can see here we're keeping adapters for charging, and there's a, what's this? Trio Auto Combined First Aid Kit, Warning Triangle, Waistcoat. Oh, cool. So there's a little, so these Model S's actually came with a Tesla First Aid Kit. That's pretty nifty, and it's actually got Velcro on the back, which I like that because it's got Velcro on the back, so it keeps it in place within the frunk, which is quite cool. So yeah, that's the frunk on the Tesla Model S. Now the way you close it, very important, is don't push down on the center where the connection is. Put two hands, well, two hands on either side. You don't have four hands, sorry about that. Put one hand on either side of the center, and you push down like that. And that's the frunk. Let's go and have a look at the inside of the car. Hi, so you will have noticed that this isn't the inside of a Tesla Model S. Well, the reason for that is I shot and edited everything, put it all together, and it was over an hour and 10 minutes long. And I thought, for your sanity, you'd appreciate if I broke it up into multiple parts. So this is going to end up being part one, where I've just done the introduction to the car and a quick look at the boot and stuff. We're now going to have a quick look at the charging elements of the car. We will then end that, and that'll be part one, and then there will be the inside of the car as part two, and actually the driving experience as part three. So yeah, here's the charging bit. A little bit about basics in terms of different sort of plugs that you get on electric cars. Now, I've covered this in other videos, but I wanted to cover it specifically for this Model S. So this Model S is has got what's called a Type 2 plug or connector. So a Type 2 looks like that. And that'll give you fast charging on the Tesla Superchargers, but on most other fast chargers, they have what's called CCS for DC fast charging. And CCS is basically just like the top bit. So you see the top bit looks pretty much the same, but we don't have the bottom bit. So in order to use a fast charger like this, a lot of them these days will have the Chademo plug as well, and that's this side. So in order to use a fast charger like this with this 2017 Model S, ideally you either have this Chademo adapter. Now I do believe that Tesla does actually make now an adapter to go from Type 2 plug to a CCS plug, but the lovely man that we rented this car from doesn't have that adapter, which makes perfect sense because here in New Zealand, this car's got supercharging for life, for free, and all the superchargers at the moment in New Zealand, I believe, are the version 2, which have the Type 2 plug, so he's able to charge for free at any supercharger in the country till the cows come home. But let's go ahead and plug this in and see how that works. So I'm here at a chargenet. Now this is one of the few, I'll do a separate video about charging in New Zealand because it's actually been quite interesting to charge as a tourist here in New Zealand, because what I've found is that a lot of the apps, you can't actually get them you can't download the apps for the charging systems if you're not on the New Zealand App Store. But let's see, so chargenet was actually one of the few that I was able to actually set up, and we're in a bit of a, sorry, chargenet, not, so charge point in Australia, chargenet, charge fox, and oh, it gets a bit confusing, doesn't it? We need to sort of solidify that. But let's go and have a look how this all works. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, see what it says. So plug it into the car first. So hands, hang on, let me try and work this out. So let me put my phone in my pocket, and so they say plug it in. You know, I actually like this, so because they've got instructions on here. So you've got plug it into the car first, use the app, activate, all that sort of jazz. It actually works quite well. So you take the Chademo adapter, put it into Chademo plug, put it into the adapter, and there's like there's little grooves that you can make sure that you're getting it in. So that's popped in. Now it thinks it's plugged in already because it's plugged into the adapter, but we're just going to use the button on here. He says hopefully to unlock the car. No, well, because the car's locked. So let me just quickly use the key fob to open that. There we go. And now the button on here does nothing. So I will use the Tesla app to open that up. There we go. We pop that in, and now they say go into the app in order to activate. Now, if I did have a key fob, I actually ordered a key fob, but unfortunately it hasn't arrived yet. So I'm just going to go into the app, and I've already set up an account. So fingers crossed we can get this all to work. Charge net. There we go. What? The what? Okay, maybe I haven't downloaded it. Ah, okay, I haven't downloaded it. So let me go ahead and download that quickly. Doing this in real time, that's exciting. Also, I'm wearing a hat because it's raining a little bit and I don't want my glasses to get spotty. Because we are in, you know, New Zealand, land of the long white cloud, and there's a bloody long white cloud over the whole country, and it's been raining for a good part of our holiday, which is less than ideal. Okay, send notifications, that's fine. Oh, it's already found all my login details. That's useful. Login failed. This is going well. Let's go ahead and bring up our password manager and see if that's going to play nice. Charge net. Oh, I must have logged in with a different account before. Allow while using app. It sees that we are in Tapuku or Tapuku. Someone in the comments can tell me how to pronounce that correctly. It's telling me that it's 80 cents per kilowatt, which is pretty expensive. Oh wait, it's New Zealand dollar is slightly weaker than the Australian dollar, so it's fairly comparable. And it's saying locations, sessions. Okay, so we can go into session, or can we just click on? There's a start button on the thing. So let's see if we just click on start. No, we got to activate it from here. So we go into sessions, no active sessions, transactions. How do we do this? Chademo, yes. Oh, okay, so we select the Chademo one. Yep, cool. We scroll down. Silly me. Okay, so we can then activate it. If you want to activate, yes. Activating. It's working. Started. View charge. It's going to show us our charge, and we are charging. Oh, that's quite cool. So it shows us the charge of the vehicle. So we're at 87% on here. So I actually quite like this interface because it shows you what's going on. So yeah, that's pretty good. And that is the charging process for the Tesla Model S with the Chademo adapter. I'm here at a Tesla Supercharger in Auckland, and this is probably one of the easiest ways to charge your second-hand Model S or Model X if you were getting one. Now, this 2017 model, this actually came with free supercharging for life. So supercharging at one of these is free forever, and it's a good thing and a bad thing that that actually remains with the car. So if you buy one of these second-hand, you still get that free supercharging for life. The challenge is that if you sell one, well, then you don't keep it with your account. It goes with the car, so good and bad. And the reason why you want to use one of these chargers is that this is a second generation one. So it's actually got the older plug, which is this here, which is what the Model S, the Model X have the older generations, and it's the Type 2. So it looks like, oh, come on, let's see if I can get that out. So the Type 2 will look like just that part of this CCS plug. So CCS basically is the top and the bottom bit. The Type 2 is just the top bit, and it can get a little bit confusing because if you just get the top bit with like just a home plug, that is Type 2, and that'll charge you up to 7 or 11 kilowatts if you're on AC. With some Model S's, if they've got the dual charger, it'll be up to 22, but that's neither here nor there. Don't let me confuse you with all that other stuff, but let's keep it simple. Top bit, Type 2, if it's got the bottom bit, it's CCS. So this is the newer type of plug. Now you can get an adapter to go from the Type 2 to CCS, but if you just want to use straight from the charger, you want a Type 2, a version 2 of these superchargers. The version 3 only has the CCS plug. It doesn't have the older Type 2 plug, so that's just something to be aware of. And as you can see, we're getting some pretty cool speeds here. So we got here, we were down to about 29%, and we plugged in, and it was only going to take half an hour to get back up to 80%, and then we can get going. Now, another interesting thing about this is we're here during the holiday period, and during the holiday period, what Tesla does is they restrict all of their superchargers to 80%. So if you charge over 80%, you'll actually get charged idle fees. So normally if you charge over 100%, you get charged some money. I think it's like a dollar a minute or dollar every 10 minutes. I'm not sure what the figure is. If you do know, let me know in the comments. So you get charged extra, and that's to encourage people not just to leave their cars plugged in, and once they finish charging, they can move on and someone else can come in and use the charger, which I think is a good thing. And during the holiday period, the logic is, well, most journeys can be done at 80%, and then you're going to get to another charger. So get to 80, move on, and also getting from 80 to 100, that charging phase is going to be a lot slower than getting from 20 to 80%. So I do see the logic of it. It can be a bit frustrating because sometimes you might want to, you know what, I just want to get 100% so that I don't have that range anxiety. But overall, there's, you know, 80% will get you to the next charger quite easily. So yeah, I think they've erred on the correct side of that with that policy. So that's charging with a supercharger. Yeah. So that was a quick introduction to the concept of my overview of the Tesla Model S and looking at the charging experience as well. I hope that's been helpful to you. I hope that's shown you a few things that you weren't aware of before. If you have found this helpful and you have liked it very much, or just a little, you don't have to like it very much, please like and subscribe. If you have subscribed already, I really appreciate your support. And if you'd like to see the section about the inside of the car and all the settings, and the driving section, which is part 2 and part 3, I've uploaded them all at the same time, so please enjoy. Yeah, safe and happy driving, and we'll catch you next time. Overweight, middle-aged white dude. Oh, I forgot to say my name. Say your name. Chill, chill, chill. Share this with friends. Share all my videos with the friends. It's worth watching. You like your friends, don't you? S 2017 model in beautiful Tauranga in Aotearoa, New Zealand, land of the long white cloud. And I'm desperately filming this while it's still sunny because we had a really long cloud which has been raining for like a week. So trying to get this done as quickly as possible while we have some sun. Really, really seamless how I can just walk away. Now I'm going to go a little bit out of focus, but don't panic. So if I just walk away, and then as soon as I walk towards the car with the key fob in my pocket, it will just automatically it will just automatically, now it doesn't. It will just automatically unlock. I swear, it's It's because I'm going in and out, but trust me, when I'm normally just walking up to the car, it unlocks, the door handle comes out, and you get in. It's pretty nifty. You can also open up the frunk, you can open up the trunk, or the boot, as we call it in the rest of the world. And we can just cut to that. Okay, you know what, we've got something, and we'll see what it looks like. And I really hope I pushed record. Did I push record? No, I didn't. You fudge nut.